Hey guys, good morning. This is your girl Kiba right here in Kiba's Place, cooking up one of Trinidad's favorite. Today we're going to make some pilau, and it's not just a pilau, you know, chicken pilau, beef pilau. This is a fish pilau, and you're going to want to see this. So let's look at some of the ingredients before I start prepping. I got pimento. You can't do pilau without pimento. Some peas, pigeon peas, Congo peas, depending on where it comes from, but this is what it is. A tin of coconut milk, some garlic, onion, pumpkin, carrots, sugar, rice, thyme. I do use ketchup in my pilau. My grandmother would have used ruku, but I use ketchup. And you need some really nice fresh fish. I use cod because it's heavy and it can take a little bit longer cooking. So we start in the bubble. That's 5 minutes plus of sugar burning. And I noticed I haven't touched it. It has to caramelize on its own. It doesn't need a lot of interfering with until it starts getting really dark. Alright, so it's coming in some color that I like. See that, guys? My sister always complained that she could never get it dark enough. So that's the color I want. And the first thing I throw in here is the So normally the first thing you would have thrown in here would have been chicken, because you have to get that color in. So there's no water in there. This is just all vegetables. If you had chicken right now, you would need the chicken to take the color. So that's initially what I'm doing with my vegetables. I'm letting it take the color. Some people like to add their rice a little at a time right now. I don't do that. I let the color set into the vegetables, and then I add the coconut milk, because I want it to have this rich golden brown, and you can only get that rich golden brown if you let the vegetables take it. If you let whatever in it, if you put chicken in, you let the chicken take it. But because fish cooks so easily, fish goes in almost to the end and cooks in. There's no water in there. So now I'm gonna add the coconut milk. So I use Ibera. I pretty much pick up whatever coconut milk I can find. I am not stringent to brand. I'm not a brand person. So whatever's on the shelf that's a coconut milk, that's what I'm going to buy, because your girl is not great in any coconut in this era. So I added 2 cups of water to that tin of coconut milk, and I am going to let that come to a boil. Let's see if we are boiling. Yes, we are. However, because I've been making this a while, I know that I want a little darker color. So I have some brown, and I'm just going to add. Gonna add a little bit because I like a caramel looking pilau. Yes, people, sometimes the sugar didn't go the way you wanted it to go. It's not as dark, and you just add the color that you want. So I like a rich looking pilau. So you add until you get that color that you like. Alright, so now I'm gonna add some garlic, some flat leaf, parsley, and I'm gonna add my 2 cups of rice. Alright, about a tablespoon of salt to start off. Fresh ground pepper. Always buy fresh. It's better. You get more power, more earthiness out of this. And I'm gonna let that cook. Now you want to have enough liquid in there. I know one of my little sister's biggest complaint when she makes pilau is that she puts too much water, so it gets soupy. So you have to maintain your water. You don't want to go put too much water and then you have way too much water in the pot. You can always add, you can never take out. So we're gonna turn down the fire because we add salt, pepper, most of our ingredients in there. Turn it down to like medium. Scotch bonnet and let that cook for about 10 to 15 minutes and check it. There's nothing wrong with coming back and checking your pot. Pilau is one of those food that you turn as you go. You add, you turn, you add, you turn. So you can't leave stuff and then come back and then you go, but that's not how I wanted it to come out. Well, you wasn't watching it. So you have to pay attention to your pot. Alright, so this is where all the goodness happens. This is about 12 minutes in. We are 12 minutes in. I'm gonna set my Scotch bonnet aside. And it's rice. Initially it's rice. There's no chicken in here. It's rice and vegetables. Starting to stick and all. So, but the rice is not the texture that I would like. So, add the next 2 cups of water. And make sure you low down your fire. Because as you can see, we're creating something called bun. Alright, and we're ready to create bun. We want everything to cook nice. So like I said, you add water as you go along. You don't just leave everything swimming in water. So the rice just started to cook. So here's what we do. We add maybe another cup of water. So we add another 2 cups of water. Low down the fire just a little. And we come back in another 15 minutes. Go back your Scotch bonnet. Right there. Still have some ingredients that we haven't added yet, but we cook it. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Well, let's add some ingredients before that 15. We want the thyme to cook in there. So we'll put like about 2 sprigs of thyme. Maybe about a pot spoon of ketchup. Stir it around. Yep, Granny used to use something called ruku. And I can't find ruku in the USA for nothing. So somebody had to send us some ruku. But yeah. I like to use the queen of the kitchen. Pour a little bit of she in there. Because you know the king went in first. He is the man. Yes. Brown sugar. About a teaspoon of brown sugar. Gives you a nice little richness. You're hanging out with ketchup. But ketchup in Trinidad and ketchup here, it's 2 different tastes. So you want a little sweetness in there. and let that simmer for about 15 minutes. All right, so we're 15 minutes in. Yes, bad boy smelling nice. Always remove that pepper, because if that pepper gets squashed in there, it's over for you. It's hot pilau. All right, so the pilau is almost there. If you want and you don't want to see those pumpkin, you can squash them up, and they give your pilau that lovely, lovely, sweet, gooey bits. I don't make pilau without pumpkin, squash, whatever you want to call it. Grandma didn't do it, and Kiba ain't doing it. All right. So now you can just So now is the time that I add the cod. So this is the fish. This is what makes it a fish pilau. You can add all that gooey seasoning. My pimento, that I can't cook this without. I don't know how some people just do it. But yes, I am not a Maggi girl. Have Goya products. But yeah, I like fresh herbs and spices. Look how beautiful that is. And you want to turn that fish in there, because when you leave this to cook, there would be no more turning. You want to keep the whole contents of the fish. You don't want fish soup or minced fish. This is not saltfish. This is cod, fresh cod. If you want to go ahead and taste and see if you have enough salt, now's the time to do so. And I might need the king to come back and add a little more salt in there. Stir it in. Add the rest of your flat leaf parsley. Guys, look at this goodness. And then just turn down the fire. Put back that bad boy right in there. Turn down the fire and let everything just come together to make an awesome fish pilau. We'll be back in 10 minutes to check what has happened under this pot. Alright guys, so we're back here. Checking in 10 minutes. Woo-wee. So there we go. Fish pilau. You want to be careful when you turn this up. You want it to dry down a little longer. You leave the pot on. But as you know, I like my stuff gooey. So I'm going to take this out and let it sit. So people, get yourself some coleslaw. Yes, remember to take off all these little aromatics, the pepper. Don't put that in your plate unless you like pepper, of course. This is what I call pilau, but this is a fish pilau. I'll tell you what it's missing. I'm an honest cook. Whew, hot. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't even talk. That is good. That is really, really good. If you don't like it that sappy, put less water, people. You know. So I'd like to tell you some tips that people don't know. So there's some tricks and some tips to making a pilau. To making a Trini pilau. Not a pilau from anybody else's country, but a Trini pilau. Number one, if you burn the sugar and you put in everything and you find like it's gonna come out white, because you can watch it and you can tell how it's gonna come out. If you don't agree with you know, the caramelization and it didn't work out for you, it didn't come out, if it come out too dark and you burn the sugar and you're getting chips, throw it out, start again. If it didn't come out where you had enough darkness, browning, I always have browning because, you know, I not browning no sugar in this here country, fumes, set off alarms, blah blah blah. Yes, throw some browning, get the color that you are confident in. So you want a nice dark pilau. Unless you don't want a nice dark pilau, you use whatever you have. That's number one. Tip number two. So don't leave your pilau, forget about it and come back and be like, dang, it didn't come out the way I wanted. It's too dry. Consistently look at your pilau. Every 10-15 minutes, add water. Don't add all the water first and then, oh, it's sappy, boy, I don't know what to do. Remember, you control this. This is your pot. So add water as you go. And 3, if you find pilau not tasting to the consistency you like, to the taste you like, throw some salt in here, throw a little sugar. Yeah, a pilau is one of them things that you can add as you go along. It's not one of them pots you just leave it there and you come back and you take it out. Pilau, you keep adding. It's a whole conspiracy of things, so keep adding. Guys, if you love my tips, if you like what I'm doing, subscribe, share with your friend. Let's eat, let's have fun, and subscribe for the next comment video. See you guys right here once again in Keeper's Kitchen.